morning everyone, and welcome to the reading lesson for today. We're looking at to understand how the author uses hints about characters in text. We're using the same text as we did yesterday, so let's take a look at reading it together. Loose lips sink ships. As I ran down the main street, other people were coming out of their houses, women still tying their pinnies, old men in undervests, children rubbing the sleep from their eyes. I was glad to find Cliff almost immediately, standing with Queenie on the steps of the post office. I tried to hurry him back inside, thinking the cellar would be a good place to shelter. "Oh, give over, Olive," Cliff cried. "No one else is going in." Incredibly, there was no air raid warden, nor any sign of one on their way. We might as well have been watching a horse race or a carnival procession for how relaxed everyone seemed. Determined not to leave Cliff on his own, I muttered crossly how foolish it was not to go inside. Everyone was gazing out to sea. It was a bright winter's day, the sun so low and glary you had to shield your eyes, yet the dark shapes of the little were clearly visible in the sky. "If Jerry bombs my cabbages," said a man with shaving foam still on his cheeks, "he'll have me to answer to." "Oh, Jim," Mrs. Moore, who ran the bakery, called across the street, "they're heading for Plymouth. You have path, not your garden." "Well, bother me," was the planes, getting closer and louder. There were 6 of them, 1 out in front, 2 flying higher, 2 directly below, and 1 bringing up the rear. They flew parallel to the coast, close enough to see the distinctive black crosses on the plane's sides, close enough to be almost level with the long, low platform of rocks on which stood the lighthouse. "Let's go, Cliff," I said again. "In a minute," he shrugged off my arm. "This is the cat's bananas." "They're German fighter planes, real ones," I said through gritted teeth. "It's not some film at the Picture Palace." I didn't like that he used Suki's phrase either, and got it wrong. Someone shouted, "Look, they're turning inland from the lighthouse." Page 76. Just a few hundred feet above the lighthouse, the German formation was changing shape. "That bleeding lighthouse," said the old Mr. Watkins, whose tobacco rations I delivered every day. "Them Jerry pilots are using it to find their way. Look at them, clear as day they are." "Not surprised," Mrs. Moore replied. "It stands out like a beacon." I watched in despair as the first plane turned almost at right angles. The others followed close on its tail. It was obvious that they were, like the man said, using the lighthouse to guide them in. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Queenie bend down and pick something up off the ground. Within moments, the sky above us darkened. Everyone cowered down. I grabbed Cliff and we clung to each other. It was terror on my part, though Cliff was grinning madly. At little more than roof height, the planes went over. You could see numbers on their undersides. The section of metal held together with rivets. The stench of burning engine oil made my throat catch. And the noise, it was so horribly high-pitched, I thought my ears would burst. "Jeez," Cliff yelled. I couldn't bear to look any more. It was then I noticed Queenie. She was the only person in the street not cowering. Her arms raised. She was hurtling stones at the planes. I don't know if she hit them. It was her face that shocked me more. Glasses astute, teeth bared, she looked almost savage. Once the last plane had gone over, a stunned silence fell. It made the ringing in my ears even worse. Then, all at once, everyone was talking in that jokey, shrilly way people do when they've been scared and are relieved it's over. Finally, Cliff let me drag him back to the post office, where once inside, we started babbling with nervous excitement. "If they'd turned their guns on us, we'd all be dead," I snapped my fingers, "just like that." "It was amazing, Olive. Terrifying, more like." "The plane was so close, wasn't it? Did you see what their pilots did? It was like the lighthouse was a signpost or something, telling them where to turn." "Did you see what Queenie—" I stopped, reddening. Queenie had come in so close behind us, I thought she'd overheard. Luckily, though, she was deep in conversation with Mrs. Henderson. Let's have some quick fire questions. So who does Olive deliver tobacco to? You can look through the text. Who does Olive deliver tobacco to? That's a rationing every day. Yes?
He delivers tobacco to old Mr. Watkins.
Well done, yeah. Next question, I want you to think about the synonyms for the word alongside. What do they use if you say something's alongside? I was talking about, yeah.
Next to.
Next to, yeah, exactly alongside. They were going along the shoreline, along the coast, so we can say it is, say the two lines are exactly the same, like train tracks. Parallel, yes, parallel, well done. And recognisable, if you think, recognisable, why would you recognise it? Because it's very...
It stands out a lot.
Stands out a lot, it does. It's very... Yes?
Like it deflects the lines.
It might be in that way, but it's very recognisable because it's got something about it. It had those numbers, didn't they, under the undercarriage. So it was very, begins with D. Yeah.
Distinctive.
Distinctive, well done, yes, brilliant, good contributions there, well done from everybody. Okay, we're going to look at the character now, Queenie. Okay, so Queenie, we think about how the author hints about what the character is like. Because as a reader, you use inference. And in the story, we've got lots of times when she is doing things, and you're thinking, well, what is she like as a character? What do we think Queenie is like as a character? Yes?
Tough person.
A tough person. How do you think that?
Because it says here, like, she was almost savage. And her glasses were askew.
Yeah, so we've got tough, savage. Yeah. What else do we know what she's like? Yeah.
Brave and she's always going to be out.
Yeah, because she's standing up, isn't she? What are the other children doing? What are other people doing?
Running away and being scared.
Running away, being scared, they're doing something else. What's this called? Yeah.
Cowering.
Cowering, yeah. So she is not being cowering, so she's standing. And standing up, in fact, for her. Right, she's throwing stones, so that shows that she's not afraid. Okay, so already we're starting to unpick those little things that the characters are doing or saying, and we're trying to understand what that character is like then. Yes?
I think she's a stubborn person.
Stop it. Why do you say that?
Because maybe if they were in a fight, she'd probably like, no, I'm sticking with my answer. Because like they're like probably telling her to come in, and she's like, no, not coming in. I'm going to chuck stones.
So I like how you've used an example in the text to back your argument up, because that's exactly what you're going to be doing now for your ideas for your follow-up, okay? So you're going to take the character of, what's her name, Queenie, yeah? And you're going to use evidence from the text to back your argument up. What is this Queenie character like and why? In 4 sentences you're going to be writing a paragraph. So I think Queenie is because. Okay, so you can do that as your follow-up, please. A nice meaty paragraph, please, for this one. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.